And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience.
Yes, exactly.
So this video...
Yes, it really is that simple, and it is just wild to me that the AAA industry doesn't get this. So I'm super excited to watch the background NPC again. This is it wrong to just want attractive characters?
Video is kind of related to my very first video about women in games, but before we get into it, we have to acknowledge everybody that is subscribed to the channel.
Seriously?
Wow, honestly, I don't really even know what to say. This has been such a overwhelming week in the best way, but thank you.
I cannot imagine going from 300 subscribers to 100,000, or I think 120,000 now in a week, but really good for her. That's amazing.
Thank you to every single one of you for all of the comments and messages and just all of the support. Now, let's talk about hot characters. I've always found it very interesting when I see some gamers say, I don't care what my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while sure, I believe some people probably do feel that way, when you actually look around at what's successful and what's...
Some people do say that, but I think the vast majority of people do care what characters look like. Even if it's just like subconsciously. I think a lot of people, when they're just like, I literally don't care what the characters look like, I don't know. I think maybe there's some people that are like that, but I think there's a lot of like cope when people say that too.
It's not, what resonates and what doesn't.
Yeah.
The idea that visuals don't matter, it doesn't really hold up.
Yeah,
the
it
second
doesn't.
you start
It's
digging into
ridiculous.
this stuff, it's pretty clear. Visuals play a huge role in whether something hits or flops. And if they didn't, cosmetics probably wouldn't be one of the most profitable parts of the entire gaming industry. The truth is, I think most
So
of us do
true.
care, even if it's subconsciously. And this isn't
I
just
love
a
Jennifer.
gaming thing, but for whatever reason, the gaming industry seems especially confused about it. Because books, anime, movies, shows, we care about how the characters look. We always have. Now, just to be clear, an attractive character cannot save bad writing or bad gameplay. A great design won't make a boring game fun, and eye candy is totally pointless if there's zero substance to back it up. And
So I do agree with that most of the time. It's not absolutely everything. It's not going to save a bad game, you know. But at the same time, I think if a game has really, really good looking characters, I think overall people will be more lenient with it and probably give it a pass on some things. I think that's just kind of like how people are. I think like attractive people just like get away with more things in general. And I don't like have like any kind of example to back this up. That's just like my opinion.
on the opposite side, it's not like a game is necessarily doomed if the characters are uninspired or unattractive. But
They're not doomed, but it's not great. Like, I can't really think of a game, maybe besides the Oblivion remaster that's just come out, where there's not really attractive characters that kind of do look like potatoes, but you know, that's a very like different case than the vast majority, I think.
to be honest, we have been done dirty quite a few times at this point. But when it does work, when you combine great writing, a solid gameplay, and a compelling visual design, that's really when the secret sauce hits. And that's when a character truly becomes iconic. So, how important is beauty really? What can it actually be used for in storytelling? And why does it matter at all? Yes, beauty is completely subjective, but let's try and figure it out together. When it comes to storytelling, beauty isn't just about looking good, it's about what that beauty communicates. It's a kind of visual shorthand for personality, purpose, or the emotional tone of a character. Take Cortana from Halo. She's sleek, luminous, and kind of untouchable. Her ethereal design isn't random. It reinforces her role as an AI. She's attractive, mysterious, highly advanced, but also just slightly out of reach. Or Aerith from Final Fantasy. She's beautiful in this really soft, gentle way. Her design radiates hope and warmth, and you feel that when she's on screen. There's something very delicate and endearing about her that sticks with you. Then there's Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah, people definitely noticed her design pretty much immediately. She's bold, striking, and yes, super hot.
Yes, I love Eve. I am so excited to play the Stellar Blade PC release when it comes out. Oh my god, I think it comes out like next week. Oh my god, I am like actually so excited. And look at this outfit. Like, I am getting that. I'm getting all of the outfits. I'm so excited.
But what's cool is that once the game launched, the gameplay actually backed it up.
Yeah.
And okay, can we talk about Verso?
And like, another thing about Stellar Blade is just like, it seems like a lot of the Eastern studios are able to really do everything and make just like record profits. And I don't know why the Western AAAs can't do this. Like, Stellar Blade has amazing looking character designs, Eve's super hot, and the game is fun. And then Monster Hunter Wilds, the game is super fun, and there's really hot women, and the characters look really good. It's just like, oh, and Marvel Rivals, I mean, it's just like, it just like does everything right for the type of game it is. It really does. And they're making so much money, and it's like the Western AAAs like they just like refuse to like want to have smash hits because of their like own worldview or something. I don't know, but it seems like the Western indie games don't have this problem, thankfully.
Claire Obscure for a second, because he is undeniably very handsome. The white hair,
yes,
the posture, the somber expression. He's restrained, haunted, and you immediately feel like there's something deeper going on. These characters aren't designed to just be pretty. They're designed with intention. Their looks are part of their emotional blueprint, and the fact that they're attractive is what actually initially draws you in. Their looks tell you how to feel before a single line of dialogue.
Yeah, I think that is an amazing point that NPC just brought up. So the hot characters draw you in. That is a big part of the marketing, in my opinion. To be honest, I think the main reason that Baldur's Gate 3 was such a smash success is that they had super hot characters that appealed to a lot of different people. And yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. It's my favorite game of all time. But you need a way to get people in the door to make them interested. And like, the first thing I heard about Baldur's Gate 3 was that you can fuck a bear, and I thought, what the fuck is wrong with those people? And then I just kept hearing that it's like so good, like amazing game, best game ever, and I was still like not sold. But then I saw a video on YouTube of Gale's romance scene, and I was like, sold, I'm buying this, take my money. And I actually went into it with the intention to romance Gale, and for some reason that never happened. Somebody else got in the way.
Humans, we are biologically wired to respond to beauty, and that's not a bad thing. So when a character's design feels off, or it doesn't match the story we're being told, that disconnect can make it way harder to emotionally connect. And this kind of visual storytelling has been around for ages. This is nothing new, and it's not just in games, it's everywhere, especially in film. Taking a look at Lord of the Rings, think about Aragorn. Rugged, attractive, weathered, and quietly noble. His entire look reflects the burden that he carries, and you can see the weight of his past just by looking at him. Then there's Éowyn and Arwen, two beautiful women with totally different vibes. One is a warrior with conviction, the other is a very soft, ethereal queen. And their looks reflect who they are at their core. And that's what good design does. It supports the story. All right, switching tones completely here, but I have to talk about my love for the Mummy series very quickly. Because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz weren't just very fun, flirty, iconic characters. They were extremely captivating. Their chemistry was off the charts, and they were both ridiculously attractive, okay?
Yeah,
but their beauty didn't just decorate the film, it amplified it. The adventure they were on, the romance, the danger. I actually love this series so much. I used to work at the Mummy roller coaster at Universal, and I may or may not
that is really cool.
have hearing loss in my one ear thanks to Brendan Fraser screaming for his coffee at the end of the ride.
Oh my god, I know exactly what she's talking about. I was at Universal like not too long ago.
Just a little bit of NPC lore for you. So if we know that beauty helps tell the story, what about when it's entirely in the player's hands? Let's talk about character customization and the literal billions being spent on it. Video game cosmetics are a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, Media Research projects that purely cosmetic in-game purchases will reach $100 billion a year by 2028.
Oh my god, can't even like comprehend that number, but this could reach $100 billion a year, and the Western AAA industry wants none of it. Let that sink in.
That sink in for a second. $100 billion a year for making your character
God.
look nice. Listen, all right, I am not ashamed that I myself played a part in this pretty recently. I hadn't touched Fortnite in like 7 or 8 years, but I randomly started playing duos again over the last few months, and pretty much right after I did, I saw none other than Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine in the shop. Yeah, I was buying up those V-Bucks.
Nice.
It was just the idea of getting to play as some of the characters I love so much in a game that I've unironically been having a ton of fun with. It was almost like I had no choice here. Quick side note, Faye Valentine definitely goes on our list of amazing female characters, for sure. And I must confess, I've also purchased the Sabrina Carpenter skin.
If I played Fortnite, I would purchase a Sabrina Carpenter skin too. Oh my god, it looks so good, and I love Sabrina Carpenter so much.
Her dress was just so pretty. Now on the flip side, the opposite is true too. When character design fails to resonate, players clock it immediately. This is very old news at this point, but I always think about Concord. This was really the first time, at least for me, that I had
Concord
seen so much public backlash about character design. And for Concord, yeah, it kind of seems like this was one of the biggest reasons that it flopped.
I think it's the main reason that it flopped because people have just a lot of options these days. They don't have to jump on this new live service slop. There's also Overwatch. And I think the Overwatch characters look a lot better than the Concord characters. But yeah, if you're just going to market a game with these characters, it's just insane to me, how out of touch the AAA industry has become, because it shows that they don't understand, why people, play games. People are looking for an escape, especially a hero shooter. You want to be a hero. You don't want to be the common rabble that you'd see at Walmart, or as Fleekazoid has put it, the residents of Seattle. It is just insane to me
that it flopped. People did not like the characters. They felt awkward, uninspired, off-putting, forced. In a market full of games where the character designs are intended to be inherently beautiful, bold, attractive, Concord's cast kind of looked like they were built by a committee just to check boxes. And then there's Starfield. Sure. This game was supposed to be massive.
Sorry, Starfield jump scare right now. Oh my god, I can't hit you with that fluoride stare like Seth Sintaka said.
Story rich, world expanding, but on top of just so-so gameplay, the one thing I kept seeing over and over again was how unappealing, bland looking, and emotionally empty the NPCs felt. They didn't draw you in or match the tone of the world. For the most part,
they all just look so dead-eyed and weird. I can't even look at these people. What were they thinking?
They were just generic copy-paste that you didn't really want to engage with. Another game that comes to mind that I've mentioned before is Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, both good gameplay and good character design were amiss here. And there were even moments where K-Vest didn't look...
I know, the game is called Star Wars Outlaws, and you play as a character who's very unsure of herself and is kind of a generic good guy who follows the rules. And the game doesn't even let you do bad things and mess around in the city like Grand Theft Auto would. This game really should have been Grand Theft Auto in space, but it's just playing super awkward girl who is unconfident in space. Why?
Quite human, which is very wild because her actress is so stunning. The blueprint was right there.
I know, the actress is so pretty.
Reason, I guess they couldn't make a character design that did her justice. And the disconnect across all of these examples is important to note because it's not just about realism, it's about relatability. Games are probably the biggest storytelling medium, and a character's design should invite you into the story. People want to feel something when they look at a character. Excitement, admiration, curiosity. And when what you're looking at feels flat, awkward, or overly ordinary, like someone you just passed by on the street, it breaks the fantasy. And that desire for your character to look attractive and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. According to Larian, players collectively spent over 8,000 years just in the character creator. That's 16% of the game's total playtime.
Yes, I have added to that total playtime myself.
Before even starting the game. And yes, I did contribute to that.
Yes.
Because to me, character aesthetics are just part of the immersion. They're part of what makes an incredible game. They help me feel more emotionally anchored in the world and make for a way more enjoyable experience. And this goes for both male and female characters alike. Even in Red Dead Redemption 2, I loved getting to change Arthur's hair, his beard, and outfits. And I'm just so glad we got to do that because I really felt like I could reflect where he was at mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, like I always like to put him in outfits that make him look like a spiffing gentleman, and then I take him to the barber and he gets like kind of clean shaven and has like nice hair, and then like I give him a bath and like he looks really good. He can look really good in this game.
Small touch made him feel a lot more real. Now, switching gears for a quick moment. Bear with me here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and out myself for a second. I love a good romantasy book. Yes, I know.
I love a good romantasy book too. Oh my god, I think I've read like 20 romantasy books. Don't hate me.
No, but before you roll your eyes and you click off the video, please just hear me out. This genre includes some of the best-selling books on the market.
It does.
You maybe have heard of series like Throne of Glass or ACOTAR, and the characters in these stories are described with this enchanted, ethereal kind of beauty. It's dramatic, it's swoony, it's meant to sweep you off your feet, and that's part of the fantasy. It's part of the immersion. There's even one fan favorite image of a certain ACOTAR character that went viral, and for many fans, that's basically canon now. Godspeed to whatever casting director has to find that guy in the real world. They will come for you.
Yes, they will.
The exact same thing happens in anime and animation, sometimes even more intensely. These characters are designed from the ground up to be visually appealing. Their looks are exaggerated, idealized, sometimes maybe a little too much, but we love them for it. And there's a reason that certain characters dominate cosplay every con season. Or why fans fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space, visual design is everything.
I love
There's a reason
Smugalata.
VTubers put so much effort into their appearance, and people can completely fall in love with them before they ever even hear their voice. The look, the aesthetic, the vibe, it all is meant to draw people in. The design is the hook. All of this is so important because when a character looks the way they're supposed to feel, that's when the magic happens. That's when people get protective. That's when a fandom really forms. Piggybacking off of all of that, I'd like to touch on something very quickly that gets brought up a lot in conversations like this. And that's the idea that it's just gamers that are the ones who care way too much about a character's appearance. That it's just
Oh, hell no. I think women actually do care more about the appearance of like celebrities they follow, like influencers, movie stars, pop stars, and if they play games, they care more about, I think, how a character looks. Like, it's mostly women playing The Sims. I'm included in that. And I'm pretty sure like most women make like very pretty characters all the time. And yeah, that is a big generalization. Like there's a lot of people doing tons of different things and have different opinions on like what looks good or if they like want a character to look good. But I'm just talking about like in general, the vast majority. And if you think about like all of the pop stars that have a mainly female audience, like Sabrina Carpenter, like she is a very attractive woman. And what women really like want to look up to, like they want to have these like idealized people to like look up to.
Gamers who have this problem. Like the second someone doesn't like a design, it's suddenly gamers are just toxic and you just need to get over it. But based on everything that I've said thus far, honestly, I do not think that's fair because this is a thing across every genre, every medium. Everybody wants well-designed, fun, good-looking, beautiful, charismatic characters. It's how we're wired, and it's why certain characters instantly spark hype online or can aid in tanking a release before it's even out of the oven.
Oh yeah, that is so true. Like I think with the new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, I think both the main characters do look a little bit better than in the original trailer, and I think people are like way more excited about them just because of that. And yeah, Intergalactic, I think it just like, I don't think there's like any hype for that game. I think coming out with that main character really just like killed like any momentum it would have had.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Intergalactic. Now, again, I am not saying every character in a game needs to look like a supermodel, but what I am so tired of seeing is characters intentionally designed to be less appealing. When the people making the decisions nerf a character's looks in a way that has nothing to do with their actual background or story, they just do it just because, it really makes no sense. It creates unnecessary dissonance, and it pulls people out of the fantasy instead of drawing them in. My last note on this here is just think about celebrities. Think about how people respond to celebrities, whether they're singers or actors. How they look, their appearance is always part of the conversation. And so many times you could easily say it even contributes to their success.
It 100% contributes to their success.
Even when it technically has nothing to do with what they're known for, it somehow still does. Because that's just how humans respond to other humans. We're made that way. We notice, we connect, we feel, and what we see at the first glance is the very first step of that. So of course, while beauty is not everything, and it's certainly not a substitute for good writing, gameplay, or mechanics, it's so often our very first impression, and usually it's the first thing that really captures our attention, lets us know what a character is about, and makes us care. And this is something that has always mattered and will always matter, regardless of the medium being used to tell the story. And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. For developers who are passionate about the projects that they're making, and they're doing it for the right reasons, odds are this is probably already all included. So it really is a guaranteed formula for success. And they're shooting themselves in the foot if the very first thing that we see is a bland, boring, or just unappealing protagonist or cast of characters. Sorry for the outfit jump scare. This is editor NPC here, and I was watching this back through and wanted to make sure I just clarified this point really well at the end. All right, I'll see myself out. Okay, thank you so much to those who made it to the end of this video. I'm genuinely so glad that you were here. Like I said at the start, this past week has been a bit of a whirlwind. I just want to say I appreciate everyone and your support so much. I still really can't wrap my head around everything that's happening, but I'm just gonna be here doing my thing like I was already planning to do. So thank you again for being a part of this YouTube journey.
Thanks so much for watching. Please help me feed the algorithm gods and give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. Tell me what other videos you want me to react to as well. And if you like this video, you might like this one as well.